What's up everybody, my name is Brenden and this is BigBearB Creative. In this week's how-to video, I kind of want to talk about a situation that occurs. You go out in the field and the light's not exactly what you're wanting, or just the situation isn't quite right. You have to boost certain things in your settings to get enough light in, which ends up kind of distorting the image in terms of like pixelation. The colors didn't turn out well. You didn't have the sunrise because clouds came in, all that kind of stuff. The situation went wrong, but you still knew that there was a good image to take, but you're not quite sure if it's going to turn out. So you take that image, you bring it home, and it's really flat. There's a bunch of pixelation because again, you had to really boost some of the settings on the camera just to get the photograph. So today I want to talk a little bit about how you can fix that and kind of not necessarily restore an image, but get more out of it. Probably more for a Instagram post or something like that rather than a photo print. But either way, I'm going to tell you guys how I fix this and how you guys can do it as well. So we're going to jump on over to my computer and get started on this. Alright, so we've all been in this situation before. We go out on a location and it's not quite what we wanted, but we still know there's shots to be had. So we take one like this, it has a lot of potential, but then you come back into the editing room and it's just really flat. There's nothing there because basically everything is the same color. So what I want to show with you here is how I took this photograph and basically gave it life amongst all the noise that's there, because my lens and camera together, they're just not as good when it came to what I needed for this photograph, which if I go over to the info, it'll show you. I had to go up to ISO 3200, which when my camera goes up that high, it really starts pixelating, which is unfortunate, and it's why I eventually want to get a new camera. But for right now, I still want to show you that you can make a great photo or recover a great photo if you run across this situation. So first thing that we want to do here is not going to be like any of the last couple that we've done where we take out all the highlights and just lower the shadows just a little bit. In this one, we're really going to boost the highlights and start lowering the shadows still, just because I like the separation. So we're just going to start raising that highlight, raise up the contrast just a little bit, start deepening those shadows, which is, as you could tell, is going to start separating the photograph, already giving it more detail than what we originally had. Then we're going to boost up that white again and then bring down some of the blacks and then boost that clarity up a good bit, which is going to help form the waves that we have in back. And then the denoise area, bumping that all the way up because we have a lot of noise that we need to get rid of. They could even go into here too, the boost, which is basically just going to make the effect a little bit stronger. But you do have to be careful with that because it will also mean you're going to lose a little bit of detail. But luckily this isn't a still frame shot. It's a lot like the last one, that it's kind of an in-between of a long exposure and quick, just so you get a little bit of the goodness of both. You could see the flow of the water, but also you get a little bit more of that clearer shot. Yeah, so then the real big ones here it's going to be the saturation and the vibrance, but you don't want to go too crazy with it, just because it is a very powerful slider here. So already right here, if you just left it as is, you've already brought back so much detail and life to this photo. Because if you go to before, it's all just a beigey brown weirdness, but now you're kind of at that like blue light, blue hour that we did with the last photograph that we'd edited. So already we made a lot of progress here. I'm just going to mess a little bit with that AI, which is just going to add a little bit to it. Let's see if we want to use a little bit of dehaze, which I do want to use a little bit, but not too much, because it's going to bring back some of that pixelation that we worked hard to get rid of. So we're going to add that just a little bit in there. And then saturation, I'm going to boost the aqua saturation all the way up, because if you look here at the waves that are coming over and flipping, if I get rid of that, you're going to see that they darken and they lose a lot of color, which we don't want that. We're trying to add color to give it life again. So we just have that boost up. It's just going to help bring just a little bit extra color into that. And we don't want to mess with the blue because then it'll be too much. If anything, you can mess with the orange just to try to see if you could get a little bit more color in on the sand, but it doesn't really look like we're going to get much in there, just because again it is partially a long exposure, so there's not any detail of it to really bring out because the water was washing over it. And we're just going to add a little bit of some structure here, just a little bit, just to help kind of define the bottom area here and the waves themselves. And again, we're going to add just a little bit of some small detail enhancer. Again, you don't want to do too much because that will start to mess with it. I'm actually going to take some of that structure out. And then what we're going to do is actually soften a lot, which will help get rid of a little bit of some of that noise. Actually, I think we're going to take the structure in the opposite way. We're going to take away a little bit, again, just to try to help with some of that noise issue that we're having. And if I switch back and forth with it on and off, you see we're not really losing any bit of that detail because we have a little bit of that detail that's back. I'm going to again lower that by a little bit. Add a little bit of sharpening to it. Again, we're not really going to mess with that polarizer filter because that's going to mean that we're losing a lot of that blue hour kind of look that we're going for. And then I just want to add a little bit of light to the bottom just to help bring your eye down to where we have that nice rippling effect happening. And then I'm just going to I'm going to lower a little bit of that top color just to balance out the image just a little bit more. And like I said, you go back and you see you just have this flat gray browny image, and now you have a whole bunch of color that wasn't there before. So if you've come into the situation where this happens and you know it's a good type of shot that you could take, but you're not quite sure what you're going to get, go ahead and take it, always take it, and then when you go home you could always see what you could get out of it. So this is how I transformed a blah gray into a more vibrant color. It's not a great one, it's not one that I'm going to really sell, but if you guys want me to sell it as a photo or anything, let me know. I don't think the quality is great enough to do that because of the pixelation that we got, but let me know what you guys think if you do want me to put it up or not. But yeah, that's how I got this. So this photo is done being edited. Alright guys, I hope you learned a little something on this and how you could probably save a photo or at least get it to where it's good enough to put on Instagram, not necessarily have it as a photo print, but that happens a lot with landscape photography. You know, we can't really control all the different scenarios and what's going to affect different things. Like you can really, when you're in a studio shooting either product or portrait or anything like that, where you can really control the lighting and all that kind of stuff. But that's again the fun part with landscape photography, is that you aren't really in control, so you get to capture things that you might not ever see again, or that no one's seen, or anything kind of like that, which is again really fun. Also, you just get to go out in nature, which we can't do right now because we're all in quarantine, but you know, we got to make it through. So I hope these videos are helping you guys while you're in quarantine, and either just keeping you entertained or helping you learn a little something during this time. And if it is helping you, please let me know by hitting that like button down below. Not only for that, but also just lets me know that you're enjoying the content and that I should be making more for you guys, and we're really just building something here. Also, if we're building something, make sure you hit subscribe. I check my analytics every now and then, and most of you guys aren't subscribed that are watching, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I do these kind of videos quite often, mainly about photography, but also a little bit about videography and graphic design. So if you do like that kind of stuff, like I said, hit subscribe. We'll be doing these how-to videos on Fridays, and then Sundays are going to be photo editing videos. So make sure you subscribe for those and stay tuned. You could also hit that notification bell if you guys want to get notified, or if you just like to check every now and then and be surprised. That's pretty much what I do. Sorry everyone that I'm subscribed to. But yeah, so like I said, I hope you learned something. If you did learn something, let me know down in the comment section below what you liked, or if you would like anything more explained or anything like that. Also check out the description box. That's where I have this program that I use, so you guys can get it if you want. This isn't sponsored or anything, but if you guys are looking for something, it's there. It should go down in price a little bit because I did just have a new one that came out, I think about a month or two ago, so it should be a little bit cheaper. Plus, it's also cheaper than Adobe's to pay every month situation. So if you guys are looking for something like that, go ahead and check that out. Also down in the description box, you're going to find links to my photo prints and my merch. My merch, if you saw last week's video, I think it was posted on Tuesday, all of my merch is now eco-conscious. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, also check out the merch page at the bottom. There's going to be a little bit of some description on how they're eco-conscious and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so all those are available for you. You can check them out. They're on my merch page and on my Teespring page. They're basically all the graphic design videos that I've done here, except for a couple logo designs that were for some clients and whatnot. But so go ahead and check those apparel out if you're looking for apparel. There's t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, tote bags. I also have stickers of those, but those aren't eco-conscious, unfortunately, but hopefully they will be in the future at some point. But also you can find down in the description box a link to my photo prints. This one, like I said earlier, these ones aren't great for photo prints just because of the quality of the image and that pixelation. So this one isn't going to be for sale, but I do have a bunch of other ones that if you guys are looking for some more landscape or just outside photos to bring into your home, just to kind of boost your mood or anything during this time, you go ahead and check that out. I'd greatly appreciate it. Those are going to be sold on my merch page and on Zazzle. So you could go to my merch page to either go to the apparel or the photo prints, and then you'll just go to the Teespring or Zazzle stores to actually purchase them. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions on how you could further improve photographs if they weren't taken properly or anything like that, let me know. And thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys have a great day. Be safe and go be creative.